off the record.
Let's think about their
I have
scrappy.
heard. I just want to interject this quickly, and I got
Sorry.
you. I heard off the record they literally can't do that part with Call
Yeah.
of Duty. I actually heard that off the record.
Well,
I can,
it's not even just
I can
that.
add context to that, by the way.
Can you please do? Yeah.
So, and I'm going to shamelessly plug, I did a preview on IGN for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies. You should go check it out.
Go check that out.
It was very good.
By the way.
Yeah.
The best preview on the internet.
Yes, it was. It was.
Here you go.
But while I was at
That
Treyarch,
voice, I saw the comments.
no, but while I was at Treyarch, and
Yes.
again, these were off the record conversations.
Yes.
The people involved shall remain nameless.
Okay.
You are 100% correct, sir. They cannot use that in their current marketing because we were having a conversation about Game Pass.
Yeah, I was surprised.
And the impact that they think it's going to have on Black Ops 6. Some people at Treyarch think it is going to be a big deal on Game Pass, but you're not going to see that big marketing push that you would expect where Game Pass has uttered every other word. Due to various reasons. That's what I was told.
That's crazy.
So for those not in the actual know, what this is actually referring to is the actual marketing rights for Call of Duty and whether or not they are allowed to or will do or will be pushing Game Pass at the forefront of their marketing campaign, or if there actually will be a very, very heavy marketing campaign for this. And it seems like, according to what's being said here, that there will not be, whether it's for internal reasons or contractual reasons, we just don't know, and chances are we will never know. As you heard from Paris, the response inside Activision has been pretty mixed. Some want to push the Game Pass notion so more people get to play the game and it reaches more of an audience, whereas others may be a little bit more conflicted. And it seems like it's not all going to be Guns N' Roses. It's not going to be smooth sailing. That is if this is deemed to be true. So, as all things, considering it's what I've heard, what I've listened to, so I'm going to take this with some grain of salt, because unless it's officially coming from someone higher up, it's not official, right? And obviously, even if they have been told from higher up, we will never know that. So Paris could know the official response as to why, but he's not at liberty to give that information or disclose who it is for obvious reasons whatsoever. But this actually paints a pretty different image to what I was expecting was going to happen with Call of Duty. And as you can imagine, everyone's jumping on the bandwagon now. Oh, look at them damage controlling already. It's way too early. But this doesn't seem like damage control at all. This seems something completely and utterly different. This seems something that could actually very well be true. And my brain just doesn't understand. Is it because they want people to buy it, so they're trying to hide it from game sales? But the moment you go to Call of Duty on Xbox, it's there. It'll tell you that it's coming day one on Game Pass. There were splash screens telling you that it's coming day one on Game Pass. So it can't be for the Xbox customers. So this restriction has to be for those not on Game Pass, not on anything else to maybe mislead them. It doesn't make sense, right? This doesn't make sense. But if there is a contractual reason as to why they can't, at this point, this deal is starting to become rather stupid. Because it does seem like, even though Microsoft has Activision, ABK under their belt, they have it in all but name, right? Because they can't legally make any decision they want to regarding their own IP, and this is beyond stupid. At this point, Xbox customers waited, 2 years, 2.5 years for this deal to go through? Probably one of the darkest times during the Xbox era, as Microsoft tried to make themselves look the weakest so they can actually push this through. And in return, they didn't even get full control of the company that they're buying, and they can't even do what they want with the IP. I get there are some limitations in there, but Microsoft at this point have lost marketing rights. They had to give up marketing rights. They've given up cloud rights because they can't give Xbox customers cloud. Like, what else is there that, this is starting to look stupid? They even have to enforce parity rights. So if the Series X is actually technically capable of doing stuff that the PS5 can't, I'm just talking hypothetically here, they're not allowed to utilize the power of the Xbox because it has to be on parity with the PS5. This doesn't make any sense to me. Now, the parity deal, I get, right? That was a legal court thing. But everything else around it, the removal of xCloud from ABK Games, that was the CMA just turning around and being an arsehole, essentially, because the CMA wanted to show Microsoft that they wear the pants, not Microsoft, and that they can cause them severe amount of problems. And this was the CMA just gently brushing Microsoft to let them know their place. There was no other reason outside of that the xCloud platform didn't get ABK Games. None at all, because at the end of the day, it's not the best service out there. I think we can all agree on that. And GeForce Now is the best service out there. It was second to Stadia, but Stadia decided to commit seppuku, so they decided to go out in, I'd say a blaze of glory, but they sunk worse than the Titanic at this point. So, what's the problem? You still had choices, right? You don't have to sign up to Game Pass in order to play it on the cloud. You can get it through GeForce Now and all the other cloud services. So now this news that they're not allowed to market their game, they're not allowed to push Game Pass at the forefront of this just is starting to sound a little silly. And I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, because for Xbox customers, we want to see, we want to see it flourish, because when it does well, we get more games. If it doesn't do well, we don't get more games. It's there is a direct correlation with that. I will reiterate, I don't care how many millions and trillions the companies make. I don't, because I never get to see that. I'm not a shareholder, so I just don't care. Whether they're a trillion company or a $1 zillion company, I don't care. What I care about is the Xbox division making money so they can continue making good games. More games. Better games. More fleshed out games. AA games. AAA games. God forbid, quadruple A. Actually, no, we've seen how quadruple A works. We don't want to go down that route again. But you're getting the point I'm saying. So I actually believed that with the marketing push for this, it could have been a real big turnaround for Xbox, both for Game Pass, both for console sales. Basically, all round, this would have been a really, really good thing for Microsoft. But if they're not going to be pushing this, at the forefront with their marketing, I genuinely believe that the Game Pass subscriptions aren't going to be impacted as much anymore. It's just not. You need to let the world know that you are bringing this game to Game Pass. I know they did it on social media, on X, but where else? Maybe on Instagram. But they're not pushing it like they would do. Come nearer the time, it's going to be interesting to see how Activision marketing handles this, because their marketing has always been legendary. And obviously, it's too early to tell right now. It could be damage control. I don't think it is. But I'm going to keep a clear mind open. I just saw this and I thought, I wanted to just talk about it, because this just didn't feel right. It didn't feel okay. And I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, because this one just didn't sit right with me. And yeah, so I just thought I'd get my thoughts and views out there, because it was just weird. At this point, I have to ask the question, outside of the games coming to Game Pass for existing customers, if they're not looking to bring in new customers by advertising and letting people know that these services are available, why did they buy Activision in the first place? In order to get people to jump onto your xCloud platform, which doesn't have those games, which is what you're eventually going to be pushing in 10, 15 years when everything goes to cloud anyway, is advertising. You need to advertise your product in order to get people on there. So how are they planning on doing this? And if they're not, and that isn't the end game, at this point, I don't know what their end game is. Whether they want to sell more consoles, not sell more consoles, I mean, I released a video just the other day telling you guys how 2026 looks absolutely amazing for the new console. And it bloody well does, right? And then you get news like this today where one of the biggest, the biggest segment of Xbox right now, bringing in a huge amount of revenue, big games like Call of Duty, and they can't market it to help them push the brand further. Can you imagine if Sony had control of Activision? Do you think they wouldn't be brandishing this from the rooftops? I don't know. This just doesn't make sense to me at all. I really hope that this is a whole bunch of hoodlum and it's a whole bunch of nothing and it's just some developers just talking and saying what it is they want to say, and it's, it's a bit like a wet fart. Some will want it, some won't want it, but it's going to happen, and Microsoft are going to have a very, very good campaign launch for the game, and things will, work out really well. Because if this game doesn't sell Game Pass subscriptions, and it doesn't move the needle in hardware sales either, you'll see that there are going to be some changes to Game Pass. This is a big risk Microsoft is taking, putting the game on Game Pass. And, rightfully so, they promised day-and-date games for Game Pass. This is now an officially Microsoft-owned game, so it should be on there. But a big game like Call of Duty, if it's not going to move the subscription needle and it's not going to move the hardware needle because they're not allowed to market the game, at that point, things are going to be looked at. And that's why I don't want that to happen, because I like Game Pass. Game Pass is a fantastic service, best deal in gaming, and hopefully it'll continue to thrive and grow and bring better games for everyone on the ecosystem. But hey, that's my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion. It's a shame my cats didn't actually run around. They're both in the room. They're just over there. They're just standing. Oreo. Effa. No? Okay, they're ignoring me. They're both in the ring this time, but no luck. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.